Hey, g'day ladies and gentlemen. Just before I post this video, I'm also running a NRL Tipping Comp for 2025 as well. If you guys would like to join my NRL Tipping Comp, I will provide the code that's on here on the screen here and down in the description below. All you got to do is just copy the code and make sure you have the NRL Tipping app, or do it through the NRL on the Chrome as well, because it'll work either way. Anyways, if you guys want to join, make sure you do, because the season's about to start very soon. We're going to start tipping very soon as well, so hopefully get to see you guys there and enjoy this video as well. I know, boys. Yeah! Good on you, Thomas Burgess! Good on you, Tommy! South Sydney! Yes! Yes! Go! Yes! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! Go! Go! Yes! 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 Let's go, boys! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! Go! Go! Yes! Yes! G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Cody's Footy World. I hope you guys are doing very well on this fabulous Tuesday afternoon, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the team list of the final round, or the final week of the pre-season challenge, going over 6 of the 7 games. I will be excluding the Charity Shield from this video, as I'll be doing the Charity Shield, doing a preview, going over the team list for that in a separate video. As a Rabbitohs fan, it's a very important game, so I will be going over that in a separate video. So I'm just going to focus on the other 6 trial games that are happening this weekend. And I'm glad we got some footy action finally. I know we did 2 weeks ago with 2 games, but it's great to see all 8 games plus the All-Stars, both women's and men's game last week as well. It's so great to have the footy back, and can't wait for this week. I know obviously the trials, majority of them were all smash outs. Only a few of them were only between 1 to 12, and most of them were 13 plus, which I was not expecting. But it's only trials, but it is what it is, I guess. But anyways, without further ado, we're going to go through the 6 trial games that we'll cover in this video, not the Charity Shield, so I'll be doing that in the next video. But the first game we're going to go over is one of the Vegas teams, the only Vegas team that's playing this week, as Sharks, Raiders and the Warriors have had their 2 trial games, and they will be getting their team ready to fly up to Vegas sometime this week, I'm guessing. As for Panthers, they've got nothing but reserve grade players playing this one, so I think it's going to be a one-sided affair, but we'll see how this will go. Now, anyways, the first game, we're kicking off at 6 o'clock as part of a double header on the Friday at Leichhardt Oval. Manly take on the Panthers. Panthers coming off a loss 2 weeks ago against the Raiders, 16-22 they lost. Now as for Manly, they've been my boys up here at Gosford last week, 34 points to 24. The little thing that happened in that game, that Manly Rabbitohs game was delayed by almost 2 hours because an unfortunate medical emergency happened, which was a heart attack, which I believe was a woman, from what I've heard from all reports, and being live at the stadium. Unfortunately, I've never seen something like that happen, and condolences to the person who was affected by this, whether it was a Manly Rabbitohs fan. Condolences to the person who was involved. But yes, the game was delayed for about almost 2 hours. The game eventually kicked off back at 5:10, but I'm surprised the game didn't get called off or rescheduled, but at least it happened, I guess. But condolences to the person who was involved. Anyways, we're here to go over the Manly Panthers game first, and we'll go over Manly's team list first. So for Manly, at fullback, they've got Clayton Falongo. Wingers are Lehigh Hopewade and Navet Willett. We have some big returning players for Manly as well. We have Tua Kalua and Ruben Garrick in the centres. Dean Madison and Jake Arthur in the halves. Sia Salah Takiaho and Ethan Bullymore in the halves. I'm sorry, at prop, sorry. Jazz Tavanga at hooker? Jazz Tavanga can play hooker? What? I've never seen him play hooker before. What? Wow, that's a surprise. He's usually a back row or prop. Oh, good on him, I guess. Ben Travojevic and Corey Waddell in the back row. Nathan Brown at lock 13. Jake Simkin, Michael Cheekham, Chris Pateo, and Tolifa Sipley, who was a bit of an injury concern, but he's all good to play this week. Rounds up the 1 through 17, and we'll go through the reserves for Manly. Gordon Ching Kum Tong, Caleb Navab, Aaron Schropp, Raymond, who had a good game last week as well, Tui Manavega, Brandon Wakeman, Jordan Swan, Atasi James, Jacob Skies, and Shane Dunford rounds up the Manly side. More of a stronger side for Manly this time. Now we'll go over to Penrith. Sideline Fauna, David Falay, and Samuel Lane make up the fullback and wingers. Thomas Jenkins and Samuel Lane rounds up the centres. Sonny Luke and Trent Toledo rounds up the halves. Preston Ricky, Austin Dias, I think it is. Billy Scott in the hooker and the props respectively. In the back row and at lock, we have Zach Leopold Ick, Harrison Hassett, and Nico Apoli. On the bench, we have Zach Lamont, John Sagaga, Billy Phillips, and Riley Wake. On the reserves, I do apologise for all these butcher names as well, guys. Like I said in last week's pre-season challenge tipping video, a lot of these players, not really familiar with them. I'll give them my best. On the reserves, Valari Lority, Tangata you take the money. That was a good one. Jackson Eager, Nick Murphy, Petula Hofteri Papali'i, Tyler Bunting, Jacob, I think that's Jacob, Falalia, Zachary Clark, and Harry Armstrong rounds up the Panthers squad. This game, Manly 13 plus. I don't see Penrith at all winning this one, especially Manly have got pretty much a full squad minus Tom Trbojevic, Jack Trbojevic, Daly Cherry Evans, Homole Molakaladu, and among other players as well. So Manly to win this one, 13 plus. Score, we're going to go, let's go 30 points to 6. So Manly win by 24 try scorers. We go Lehigh Hopewide, and I guess for Panthers, the lone try scorer, we'll go Billy Scott. So Panthers, Manly to win, 13 plus. Now we go to our second game of the doubleheader on the Friday, and the last one for the Friday games, kicking off at 8 PM also from Leichhardt Oval. We have pretty much these two used to play against each other in the early 2010s, called the Foundation Cup, at least I believe that what was called. West Tigers taking on the Eels, kicking off from 8 o'clock. So before we do that, last week the Tigers came up short against the Bulldogs, losing 20 points to 14. And as for the Eels, killing the Knights, 44-18. Quite an impressive victory for the Eels. I did not expect them to go out like that, but it's only a trial, blah, blah, blah. But very impressive win for the Eels, and good signs for them to show what they are in for 2025. Anyway, so let's go through the team list for both teams. Tigers will start first. So at fullback, we have Heath Mason. On the wings, we have Gerald Skelton and Charlie Staines. In the centres, we have Stafford Toa and who played in the All-Stars game last week, Brett Naden. In the halves, we have Lachlan Galvin and Adam Dewey, so no Jerome Luai yet, so he won't make his mark for the Tigers until round 1. In the props, we have Terrell May, who came from the Roosters, and Fanua Pole. Talon Da Silva is the hooker. Samuel Fani, Alex Safer, and Alex Twal rounds up the back row and lock. On the bench, We have Latu Fani, Royce Hunt, who came from the Sharks, Jack Byrne, who came from the Dragons. In the reserves, we have, they haven't announced a full 28 squad, but it is what it is. The rest of the players sign off at Finua, so they've got all three Finua brothers playing. Tristan Hope, Tony Skarkar, Kit Lulililu, and Simone and Solomon Patape rounds up the Tigers squad. And now for the Eels. For the Eels, we have Isaiah Longi, Sean Russell, Jake Tago for the back three. And in the centres, we have Will Pennicini and Zach Lomax making his first appearance for the Eels. In the halves, we have T. Hundiri Twiddle and Ronald Volkman. In the props, we have Jack Williams and Wiles Mugreg, Joey Lussick hooker, Kitalangi Katoga and Kamatalangi rounds up the back row, and Jamal Hopgood at lock. Ryan Madison, Luca Morotti, Matt Dury, and Sam Talivatili rounds up the 1 through 17. And now we go for the reserves. Tony Martalia, Charlie Gamea, Bryce Cartwright, Dan Cleek, Riley Smith, Brandon Hance, Josiah Popoli, Josh Adokar makes his first appearance after serving his suspension for last week's All-Stars game. Jordan Semirani, Arthur Miller Stephen, and Joshua Lynn rounds up the Eagles squad. This game, we're going to go Eagles to win 13 plus. We'll go Eagles to win by 18. Scoreline will go 34-16. Try scorers, we will go Isaiah Lungi for the Eagles, and for the Tigers, we're gonna go Alex Safer to go over for the Tigers. Eagles to win 13 plus. Alrighty, now we move on to our second game on the Saturday. Remember, we're only covering the 2 Saturday games for this part, not the Cherry Shield. That's going to be a separate video. So we'll be starting with the Broncos taking on the Bulldogs from KO Stadium, Saturday 5:30, 4:30 kick-off up there at KO Stadium in Redcliffe. And this is also part of a doubleheader as well. Broncos taking on the Bulldogs. Last week, Broncos crushing the Titans, 50 points to 12 in Toowoomba. And the Bulldogs beating the Tigers, 20 points to 14 at Cogra last week. So, very dominating performance for the Broncos. And Bulldogs put on a good effort against the Tigers. Now we'll go through the squads for both teams. So for the Broncos, we have at fullback Reece Walsh. Your wingers are Swelton Cobbo and Jesse Arthurs. In the centres, we have Kitani Staggs and Jarabati Sharabaski. Making his first appearance for the Queensland side for the first time in so long. We have Ben Hunt at 5'8", and Adam Reynolds returns at halfback. In the forward pack, we have Patrick Carrigan and Payne Haas. Carrigan not playing at lock, which is interesting to see. Corey Prax is the hooker. Jack Gorowski and Jordan Ricky in the back row. Kobe Henrington at lock. And on the bench, we have Latrell Siege Walt, Josiah Karapani, Delise Hota, and Jock Madden. And in the reserves, we have Josh Rogers, Dean Mariner, Billy Walters, Corey Jensen, Tyson Smoothie, Brandon Piacora, Benjamin Tukora, Martin Tapau, Jaden Hunt, Xavier Wilson, and Jet Bryce. So they've got 28 players. Now I'll go through the Bulldogs side. They've got only 25. So Bulldogs at fullback, Connor Tracy. Your wingers are Blake Wilson and newest recruit from the Warriors, Monsia Montoya. Bronson Sherry and Stephen Crichton in the centres. Matt Burton and Toby Sexton in the halves. Max King and Samuel Hughes as the props. Rain Marty is the hooker. Below me kick out. Jacob Preston in the back row. Kurt Mann is the starting lock. Bailey Haywood, Josh Curran, Curtis Moore, and Jamin Salmon makes up the 1 through 17. And on the reserves, we have Ratu Reinakama, Joseph O'Neill, Cassius Tia, Blake Taff, Harry Hayes, Jonathan Seward, and Luke Smith rounds up the Bulldog squad 1 through 25. For this one, we're going to go Broncos to win 13 plus as well. I think on paper, Broncos have got the strongest squad. So I expect Broncos to put a scoring on the Bulldogs. Broncos to win by 20. Scoreline, we're going to go 40 points to 20. Try scorers, we're going to go Cobo for Broncos, and for the Bulldogs, we're going to go kick out the score. So Broncos to win 13 plus. Now we move on to our final Saturday game. Also part of a double header from KA Stadium, another Queensland Derby. We have the Dolphins taking on the Titans, kicking off at 7:30 in New South Wales time, 6:30 up there. Last week, the Titans were demolished by the Broncos, 50 points to 12. And the Dolphins put a scoring on against the Cowboys, winning 50 points to 8 up there at Balliol Park. The Broncos and Dolphins making their ways through and determining everyone to obviously be fear of them, but no one fears Brisbane, especially those Broncos. But let's go through the Dolphins team list first. So at fullback, returning from the All-Stars game, we have Haverside TPI Fido. At fullback, Jermaine Osako and Jack Bostock on the wings. In the centres, we have Jake Avarillo and Herbie Farnworth. In the halves, we have Cody Nikorima and Isaiah Katoa. In the halves, fuck's sake, that's twice I've done that now. In props, we have newest recruit from the Knights, Daniel Saifidi and Felice Kafusi. Kirk Donohue at hooker. From who used to be at the Cowboys, Kyriaki Fiwiaki and Max Plath in the back row. Tom Gilbert, is the starting lock. Junior Tupou, Kemi Bromwich, Mark Nichols, and Ray Stone make up around 1 through 17. Now we go through the rest of the top squad. You've got 25 players. Max Vigai, Josh Kerr, Konyo Lemu, Harrison Graham, Sean O'Sullivan, Ablix Twalha, Davida Nofiuha, and LJ Nonu rounds up the Dolphins squad. Down to Titans. They've only got up to 21 players. At fullback, we have Jalen DeGrew. In the wings, we have Alan Fitzgibbon and Tony Francis. In the centres, we have Jojo Fafito and Philip Sami. In the halves, it's AJ Brimson and Kieran Foran. In the forward pack, we have Moika Fuiakin, Philawakin, and Jalen Jolliffe in the props. Sam Verrills is the starting hooker. David Fafita, Bo Thermal, and Chris Randall rounds up the back row and the lock position. Keanu Keeney, and making his first appearance in almost a year after tearing his ACL injury against I believe it was the Bulldogs last year, unfortunately. The captain, Tino Falasumalawi, returns to the Titans after a long recovery from ACL injury. Good to see him back. Brian Kelly and Khalees Haas rounds up the 1 through 17. And on the reserves, they've only got 4 players. Jaden Campbell, Khan Pereira, Josiah Pahuhulu, and Tom Weaver. For this game, Dolphins to win this one, but I think they will only win 1-12. Dolphins to win by 12, 24-12 scoreline. Try scorers, we will go to Hammer, and for the Titans, we will go... Let's go Jalen DeGrew for the Titans. So, Dolphins to win 1-12. Alright, now we move on to our Sunday trial games. The first one kicking off at 3:15 p.m. Up here on the Central Coast at Industry Group Stadium, we have the Roosters taking on the Knights. Last week, Knights got demolished 44-18 against the Eels, and as for the Roosters, they lost to the Dragons 26 points to 8 on Sunday, just a few days ago. So, both teams coming off big losses, which not good signs really, but we'll go through the squads for both. At fullback for the Roosters, they've got pretty much the full squad on hand, or what they've got available. James Tedesco returns. Daniel Tupou and Dominic Young in the halves. Mark. This is the rugby union player who came from the Wallabies, I believe. Mark Nawa. I can't pronounce his full last name. And Robert Toiler rounds up the centres. Sandon Smith and Chad Townsend is the halves. Lindsay Collins and Spencer Linyard in the forward pack. Connor Watson at hooker. Angus Crichton, Victor Radley, Suwa Wrong rounds up the back row and lock. Ben Ely, Lohu, Sally's Forketti, Nat Butcher, and Nafua White rounds up the 1 for 17. And for the reserves, we have Junior Tupuga, about to say Tupo there, Blake Steep, Jake Elliott, Ethan Keane, Todd Rodwell, Max McCarthy, Max McCarthy, sorry, Dila Sally Vala, and Hugo Savala rounds up the Roosters squad. And for the Knights, Kalen Ponga returns after playing the All-Stars game. James Schuler and Greg Marzu rounds up the wing. Dane Gagai and Braden Basser in the centres. Fletcher Sharp, Tyson Gamble in the halves. Jacob Saifedi, Leo Thompson in the props. Phoenix Crossland is the hooker. Dylan Lucas and Kai Pearce-Paul rounds up the back row, and Tyson Frizzell at lock. Jane Brayley, Jack Henrington, Brody Jones, and Matt Croker rounds up the Knights 1 through 17. Jack Cogger, Thomas Cant, Kyle McCarthy, Logan O'Killa, Will Price, Matthew Arthur, Jackson Hastings, Cody Hopwood, Elijah Salina, the Mona, Tyrone Thompson, which I believe he's actually the brother of Leo Thompson and possibly a twin. I'm not 100% sure. And Connor Fateno rounds up the Knight squad for this game. This one could go either way, honestly, and I don't really care about either team, but I'll go Roosters to win 1-12. Roosters to go 26 points to 16, so the win by 10. Try scorers will go Dominic Young and we'll go Dane Gagai. Now we move on to the last game. And for the last game of the trials, and the last game pretty much before the NRL kicks off in just over a week now, or just a little or close to 2 weeks, we have from Casey Fields in Melbourne, kicking off at 5:15 p.m. We have the Storm taking on the Cowboys. Storm were beaten by the Warriors 36-10 in Hamilton last week, and for the Cowboys, they got put 50 points against them, 50 points to 8 losing to the Dolphins. Now for this game, we'll go through the team list for both. We have Falongo at fullback, Kane Brayley, Grant Anderson on the wing, Jack Howard, Nick Meaney in the centres, Cameron Munster and Tyron Wishart in the halves, Stefano Yukamanu, Josh King in the props, Harry Grant at hooker, Sean Bloor, Elise Katoa and Trent Liero rounds up the back row and lock. Bronson Garlick, Joe Chant, Tui Kamifa and Alec McDonald rounds up the interchange. On the bench, with Lazarus Valipi, Stanley Hon, Angus Hitchinley, Keegan Russell Smith, Ryan Paffenhauser, Hugo Peel, Cooper Page Wilson, Nathaniel Roach, Preston Conn, Kobe Williamson, and Mitchell Jennings rounds up the Storm squad. Now we go through the Cowboys. Cowboys at fullback, Scott Drinkwater, Brayden Burns and Murray Talangi in the wings, Jackson Purgey and Viami Falia in the centres, Tom Dearden, Thomas Duffy in the halves, Jordan McLean, Sam McIntyre at prop, Reece Robson at hooker, making his first appearance after leaving the Tigers and went to the Super League for a bit last year. John Bateman, along with Jamrai Nanai, rounds up the back row, and Ruben Connor on the bench. in the lock, sorry. On the interchange, we have Harrison Edwards, Kyle Lawton, Griffin Neem. There's no 17 for some reason for the Cowboys, but the reserves goes Connor O'Donnell, Colin Hess, Robert Derby, Thomas Michaela, and Jackson Paulo rounds up the Cowboy squad. Who do I see winning this one? Both teams were disappointing, but I think we'll get Melbourne to win this one. Melbourne to win 1-12. And to win by 8 points, scoreline will go 36-28. So a high scoring one for try scorers. We'll go Folongo for Melbourne. And on the bench, we'll go Nanai to and on the Storm Cowboy side, sorry, we'll go Nanai to score. So Storm the win, 1-12. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up the video. Well, finishing up 6 of the 7 trial games. As like I said, I'm doing the Charity Shield in a different video straight after this. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can get there, hopefully halfway through the year. Yep, clicking that subscribe button helps out the channel and puts it out to more viewers who are getting recommended for it. So that'll be really helpful if you guys can click that subscribe button. And also turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss out when I post a video or go live on YouTube. Anyways, guys, good luck to you teams in the trials, except for the Sharks, Raiders and Warriors, as you guys are already done. But anyways, good luck. And the NRL regular season, it's not that far away. 2025 regular season, bringing on in just a week or two now. See you all in the next one, guys.